What's good, YouTube? And if you saw the title, I swear it's not clickbait. I've been procrastinating this day for a while now, and it's finally time for me to talk about my GOAT, my best girl. I've seen her face for years now, honestly. I didn't start reading until this year, though, and honestly, I don't regret. I don't regret any of it. If anything, I regret taking this long to see my best girl, the peak fat ass. I'm talking Miss, I can eat a whole menu of cake and gain no weight. Of course, I'm talking about the one and only Kaoruko. And today we will be talking about Kaoru Hana wa Rentu Saku, or The Flagrant Flower Blooms with Dignity, because that title's a little long, and honestly, they're both a little long, so I just call it Kaoru Hana. But yeah, I've been surrounded by this cake demon's face for like forever, it feels like, so I'm happy I can finally talk about this manga, and man oh man, let's get into it. Look at her, man, just look at her. How can you hate? How can you hate this cake demon? She's too adorable to hate. But yes, for this, I'm going to try to keep this as spoiler free as possible. I'm only going to talk about the first chapter, so if you don't want to know about the first chapter, don't watch the video, go read it. But I'm only going to talk about the first chapter, so let's get into it. So Peak starts with our main character, my guy Rentaro, right? He's looking out the school window. He's looking at the school next door through the curtains, and he's like, man, that's a world that I'll just never know, you know? The other school, they always have their curtains closed. This school has their curtains open. He's like, that other school, it's just a world I'll never be a part of. It's just something I don't know. And I respect that, because sometimes you gotta know when something's not for you. And Rentaro knew that world over there is just not for me, you know? And then after that, we get to see some of Rentero's life. We get to meet some of his friends. We get to see what people think about him, what he does after school and stuff. And we learn throughout all that Rentaro is a little misjudged throughout his life, you know? He's a tall dude, dyed hair, you know? People look at him like, oh, he's a delinquent, you know? He's so tall, he pulls up on a skinny guy, you think he's about to rob you for all your money. It makes sense, but that's not who my guy is deep down. You know, it's not who he is in here. Maybe what he looks like, but it's not who he is in here. You can't judge a book by its cover, basically. But we also learn what that school next door is. Because as Rentaro is leaving school, you know, he's with the boys. They're leaving. They pass by a group of girls, and the girls drop something. And as anybody would do, you know, they pick it up and they're like, hey, you dropped this. And the girl turns around, and she says, that item just lost all its value. Which is kind of insane, I'm not gonna lie, because to say that to someone doing this something nice, he could have left it on the floor, but she said it lost all its value just because he touched it. But this is where we learn that there's some beef here. There's tension here at these schools. These two schools do not like each other. On this side right here, we have Chidori, the boys' school, the dum dum school, as some will say, you know. And then here we have Kikyo, the prestigious academy, private school. All the girls are there, you know? You can see how that already is a little conflict, but then the students themselves also making conflict. It's conflict on top of it's too much. It's just a lot of beef going on here, you know. And we learned that the Kikyo girls despise the Chidori boys. The Chidori boys really don't care that much. It's like, oh, they don't like us, so we won't talk to them type thing. It's not that they don't like Kikyo, just like, oh well, that's just how it is, I guess. But after all of this debacle, you know, we go home. Rentaro goes home, and then we see that his family runs a bakery. And man, there's something about a romance. When a romance has, it doesn't matter if it's the male MC, it doesn't matter if it's the female MC, it doesn't matter if it's just the female we're going after, the guy we like, it doesn't matter. If any of them work at a bakery, it's peak. I'll say it here and now, it's peak. The bakery, for some reason, if the bakery gets introduced, it's always peak, man. Clanad, Horimiya, those are just my first two examples off the top of my head. It's just always gonna happen. It's just always peak. Okay, I realize I called it a bakery and it's a patisserie, and some manga fans are gonna be very mad at me about that, but they both sell good things. Alright, fuck off. But we learned that Rentaro sometimes helps his mom out here, his mom and dad out, And he gets home. His mom's like, "Hey, I have an order. Can you give it to a customer? I'm a little busy right now." And then that is when we meet her. And she's, Rinto's just looking at her. She sees Rintaro looking at her, and she gets all flustered. She's gone out the door, just dips. Rintaro's like, "Damn, it happened again. Somebody looked at me and just got scared of me because of the way I look," which is bad. But he starts feeling a little guilty because this is our customer. She was just trying to enjoy her cake. I didn't mean to do that to her. So he tells his mom, and his mom's like, "Oh yeah, that's our regular. She's tried half the menu probably. She's always in here, So then it's like, fuck. I'm scaring regulars off, So I have to go make do. I have to go make right. But how do I find this girl? That is what is on Roto's mind right now. How do I find this girl? Because for some reason, which I think is hilarious, he thinks she is a middle schooler at first, which is funny because throughout the manga, you do see Karuko more and more, and she is so small. She is just so tiny and small, so it makes sense. But to think off rip, who is this little middle school girl that I scared was funny. But then next day at school, we're just thinking about that. She's all on the mind. He's wondering, how am I gonna find this middle school girl? Then we finally go back home. Long school day. Boom. Guess who's there at the house? Guess who's there at the patisserie? Karuko. And you know what she wants to do? She wants to talk to my boy Rentaro. And this time, she's like, "Hey, let's get some cake. So we're not going to run away. I'm going to offer you some cake, So then, as they eat and they talk, we learn a couple of things here. Number one, we learn her name, even though I've been saying her name throughout this whole video. But her name is Karuko Oguri. Number two, we learn this girl can fucking eat. This girl can eat a lot, This little skinny, middle school built girl can eat like a lion. And then number three, the most important one, we learned that she's met Rentaro before in this shop, but Rentaro just doesn't remember. And then number four, the reason she ran, it wasn't just because Rentaro was scary, because this was the way you're staring at her. She got all flustered because girl, it's just a guy. As a guy, you can't stare at a girl that intently. But it happens, these things happen. It's fine. So after she clears up the awkward situation from the day before, at the end of their meal, she tells him, Rentaro, I've never once thought of you as scary. Which hits my boy deep, because he's been judged all his life, So finally someone is not judging him, and that's what I like, We gotta love a girl that's not judging off rip, that's not judging a book by its cover like everyone else has been doing. Points for best girl. But then Karuko goes home. Rintaro's still thinking about what she said to him, He goes, talks to his mom. His mom's like, did she get home safe? And then we realized Rentaro didn't even walk her home. We didn't even go check if she got home safe. So then Rentaro's like, damn, let me go check if she got home safe. Switch POVs. We're on Karuko's POV now. We see she left the shop. A couple dudes started following her, harassing her. And you know why they're harassing her? Because they saw her with my boy, Rentaro. And now they're out here bad-mouthing Rentaro. Just bad-mouthing them. And you know what? Karuko's not going to stand for that. She's not going to stand for that at all. So she's going to stand up for my boy, which gets one of the guys a little angry. A little too angry, some may say, because then he swings. And as soon as that punch is about to connect, guess who that punch hits? Rentaro. He's there, protecting. A little blood on the forehead. It's fine. Just a little blood. We eat that. It's fine. The dudes run. They're gone, Karuko, she's like, oh, thank you. You saved me. You're bleeding. He's like, hey, I got the blood from when I went to protect you accidentally. I moved too fast. I hit my head on the wall. I punched it in nothing. You thought the punch was the blood? No, I was moving too fast. I accidentally hit my head on the wall. I was trying to get to you too fast. Trying to get to my key, my jewel, Princess Peach. Trying to make sure Bowser didn't hit her. And that's what we have to respect here. So yeah, Rentaro saves the day, makes sure she's okay. She's alright. She thanks him, and then she says, hey, next time I stop by, we should eat some cake together. Which is great, because that's just best girl material. Just look at her, man. Just look at her. How can you hate? But next day we go to school, and then, we're in school, and you already know what's on our mind. There's only one thing that could be on our mind. Understandable, right? And we're in the same spot we were at the beginning of the chapter. We're in the schoolroom looking out the curtains, the closed curtains at Kikyo, and we're just thinking about Kaoruko and the things that she said the night before. And then those curtains start to crack open a little bit. It's like, oh, they're finally opening up the curtains over there. You know, I can finally see into the school. And then as those curtains open, we see none other than Haruko on the other side, a student at Kikyo. And that is how our peak romance begins, man. And when I tell you, that's just, it's just we were throwing ingredients into the pot and stirring up, man. And this is just the beginning. And it's like, not only is this chapter just so adorable, but like the amount of things that are like just set up, it's just a lot of setup here. I love a story that can set up some things in chapter 1 and then we'll come back to it in like chapter 60 or 50, you know. And that's what this is here, and it's just great, man. It's just great. I give it 10 out of 10. I give it 100 plus. And it's just the main thing, there's no bad characters. I can say that right here, right now. The main thing that I love about this story is that there's no bad character. Every time I think I'm not gonna like this guy, it's just a full 180. I'll always switch. Everyone's so nice and wholesome and happy. Okay, we're not all happy, but on the road to becoming happy for some, and that's just so nice. It's just so nice, man. I love that. Like, I got into it purely for Kaoruko and fucking Rintaro, but now I need everyone in this fucking manga to find their happiness, or else I won't be happy. I'm gonna crash out. And it's just like the way that Mikami sensei can draw some emotions on these characters, like when they're in pain, I'm in pain. You just see it on their face and it makes me feel it, man. It's something, I don't know, to transcend the manga, come through the page and hit me here, that takes talent. That's a talent that only some have hit, only some. But yeah, if I keep yapping, I can honestly talk about Karuga forever, but I will not spoil you guys. It comes out in 2025, the anime. I don't know when exactly, but sometime soon, hopefully. It'll probably be spring. 9 out of 10 will be spring. Spring 2025, I bet you we will be talking about Karuhana, and I won't stop talking about it then. So I'll see you guys in spring. Appreciate you guys if you watch this video. Go read Karuhana. I'm out. Peace. Right now, baby, I'm not